ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Howard Camerik, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going!
You believe I picked Madden Ford behind fucking Chewbacca? I had no idea. My name is Howard Camerik. Camerik is spelled with a C, ends in a K. Any of you comedy nerds out there have trouble remembering my name, just think of me as Howie C.K. I got a milestone birthday coming up next week. I'm going to do something the LSU football team couldn't. I'm going to cross the 50. 50 years old, man. You know, I'm trying to stay upbeat about it, but people keep reminding me. You know how that saying goes, 50 is the new countdown to death. I'll tell you one place where 50 would seem young, and that's at a meeting of the local union of flight attendants. Have you noticed how long in the tooth these ladies have been getting? Last week I was on a Delta flight to St. Louis. I was served a diet slice by a flight attendant who claimed she was high school classmates with Betty White. I'm not sure she might have been hard of hearing. I asked her for a Bloody Mary, and this is what she said. "I can't help you, sweetheart. The whole crew is postmenopausal." When we landed, finally touched down in St. Louis, another flight attendant started getting nostalgic about our early days flying with Lindbergh. Yeah, if the airlines really want to recruit their flight attendants out at Century Village, I got some tips for them. Just some suggestions for, help them with their recruiting. JetBlue should call itself JetBlue Hair. Continental should call itself Incontinental. And Spirit Air, God bless them, Spirit should call itself Not Yet. My 50s are shaping up to be a lot like my teenage years. Of course, there's a lot of change, a lot of transition. Of course, there's the obvious physical stuff, the decaying of the body. But another issue is this seems to be the time when you really lose track of the cultural trends. I just can't figure out anymore what I'm supposed to do to remain hip and modern. Sometimes these issues overlap. Let me give you an example. I not only now have gray hair on my balls, I have hair on my balls. When did the Elmer Fudd look come into vogue? I'll tell you, I wouldn't even know that men are waxing their fruit bowls these days if it wasn't for internet porn. Let me hear from my internet porn consumers out there. Thanks for your honesty. If you're a man, I understand why you didn't clap. Not the reason you think. It's because your hand is damaged from the carpal tunnel. It's hard to clap your hands, I get it. My 50 years, the internet porn has to be among the greatest achievements I've seen in the world of technology. When I was a teenager, all I had was a sticky Playboy magazine, and I had to hide it under a mattress. Kids today are walking around with smartphones. That gives them 24-hour access to live-action, multiracial midget gangbangs. Porn in your pocket. GE brings good things to life, doesn't it? I want to take a minute now to pay tribute to the pioneers, to the men who brought us to this era of technological evolution. Steve Jobs, of course. Al Gore, who invented the internet. Everybody knows that. Alexander Graham Bell. What's his name? Thomas Edison. Even that crazy old pervert Benjamin Franklin. With the kite and the key running around in an electrical storm like an escaped mental patient. These men, these were visionaries. These are men who took us from an agrarian society to the modern one we enjoy today. A society in which you can actually hold a portable communication device in the palm of your hand while you jerk off with the palm of your other hand. It's what I call American exceptionalism. Of course, you know, the same technologies had a profound impact, even on stand-up comedy. Now when a comedian wants to get noticed, just puts his stuff right up on YouTube. We didn't have YouTube when I was young. Well, when I was in college, we had something we called a YouTube. It was a bomb shaped like a horseshoe. I thought that was funny. You know, I don't even know how to post a video on YouTube. It's sort of embarrassing. It's another generational thing. You know, I'm sort of trapped in this technological netherworld between youth and old age. Here's how I know. I am young enough to have hundreds of Facebook friends, yet old enough to now have several dead Facebook friends. Which gives rise to the obvious question: if you poke a dead Facebook friend, are you a necrophiliac? I want to end at the end, which of course is death, sort of where I began. I've left two specific instructions in my will that I want to share with you all tonight, because I think you'll find them interesting. First one's an obvious one. I am instructing somebody to deactivate the poke button on my Facebook page. See, you may have misunderstood me. I'm not the one that's going to be doing the poking. I'm the one that's getting poked. And I know exactly how it's going to happen. I can see it. One of my asshole Cheech and Chong college buddies is going to take a couple of hits off the YouTube. Next thing you know, he's trying to virtually desecrate my corpse with his Facebook cock. I don't mind, but I don't think my family should have to deal with that after I'm gone. The other instruction is for the mortician. Now, when I'm dead, I'm not going to feel a thing. So, when you get me ready for the open casket, go ahead and wax me up and give me the full Brazilian. I'm Harry C.K. Thanks for indulging my good life.